Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And typically I read meditations on here, or I tell little stories, you guys know, all that kind of stuff. Today I'm going to do something different. I received a tweet yesterday from Amanda. Amanda tweeted me this quote, and she said, "Hey Peter, I would love to see a Peterisms video on this subject." And I read the quote, which is from the Sensitivity Project, and I immediately related to it. I was like, this is kind of a mantra that I choose to live by anyway. So I wanted to throw the quote up here. Thank you, Amanda, for sending it to me. I love when people send me ideas for this channel specifically. And I just want to kind of talk about how I've applied it to my life, because it's been a lesson that's actually taken me a really, really long time to, It's taken me a long time to kind of get behind and accept and understand how to apply it to my life and how important it is. And why it feeds into all of these things that I say, like chase your dreams, life is not a dress rehearsal, and all of that. So let me put the quote up here for you. The quote is, "The remedy for feeling not normal isn't trying to become more normal. It's accepting fully who you are and then creating a better fit between yourself and your environment, including your work, your relationships, your home, your lifestyle, your everything." And I just love this so much, right? Because basically, you know, for me, what it encompasses is stay weird, you know? Stay different, stay weird. And to me, weird doesn't mean that you look completely different than everybody walking down the street. It doesn't mean that you listen to, you know, music that most people don't listen to. And I think for a long time, that's what I understood, you know? That for me, being weird or being different or being not normal meant that I didn't fit the mold of society. I wasn't a conformist. And because I think this has a lot to do with my sexuality when I was growing up. I think because I felt kind of put down a lot by normal society, I tried so hard, you know, I resisted against conformity, that I really tried hard not to fit in and be different and be weird, whatever, right? But what I know today is that being weird, or whatever your definition is of being weird, is what you know, how does your soul speak? Like, what is, you know, what is the beat of your drum of your soul, if that makes sense? Not what anybody else, I mean, you could look just like anybody else, listen to the same music as everybody else, and that doesn't mean that you're normal, right? Like, everybody in their lives is specifically different. Every journey that we take is specifically different. And so what I think it means to me today is staying true to who I am and not fighting this need to not be a conformist or not be like everybody else, because there are some things that it's completely fine for me to be like somebody else. You know, back in the day, I can remember, like, I always listened to all these really, really different bands, right? Like, nothing that anybody else listened to. And like, when I was in high school, you know, there was like, I don't know, a group of 20 of us that lived in the same music or listened to the same music. We all dressed the same way, you know? So we were kind of conformists in our own circle, but I didn't see it that way. We called ourselves individuals back then. We were like, oh, I'm an individual, you know? And what that means is I stand out from the group, that I'm so much different. At 47 years old, I don't always want to stand out from the group. You know, I don't always want to be way on the outside, because sometimes that's very lonely. You know, it's interesting because my music taste today, I'm not afraid and I'm not ashamed to admit that some of the things I like are really, really mainstream. They're not different. I don't care, you know? And what I know is that life is really short. It's really fragile. This is not a dress rehearsal. And I think that staying weird, you know, staying not normal, isn't about what normal is. It's about who are you inside. You know, and that whole idea, I think we fight against being normal. Somewhere along the way, being normal got a really bad rap, you know? It really, really did. And I have friends of mine that if you looked at their lives, they have very simple lives. They go to work, they come home, they have dinner, you know, they play video games or they watch movies, you know, and they read books, and, you know, they just have very, very normal lives, and they are incredibly happy, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? My battery died. I think, you know, there's many of us out there that need more than that are always looking for something that's bigger, something that's better, you know what I mean? Like, something that we have to have that. Like, it's that important to us. And, you know, I don't even know that bigger and better are the right words to use. It's just something maybe more exciting, something new, something fresh. I think that's why I love to read so much, you know, because every book that I read is completely different than the last, typically. And so it's a different world that I'm going into. I think today, you know, the idea of being normal, I think it's okay. And I think, like, you know, it took me a long time. Okay, so here's where I was. When I was, you know, growing up, junior high and high school, I was so different, so not normal from everybody. They pushed me out of the groups. They didn't want me to be part of the group. They didn't want to include me in any of that. And you know what? It hurt. Because I think all of us deep down inside, we want to kind of be part of that popular crowd. Because, and I know there's a lot of people who are going to say, no, I never wanted to be part of that crowd. Okay, but I did. There was a part of me that did. And I think because I thought if I was part of that crowd, it would be easier, that my life would be easier. I would be accepted, I would be validated, my life would be easier. By the time that I got to high school, you know, especially by my sophomore year, I was talking a lot about this on my vlog last night, and I kind of found my people, so to speak. You know, my people looked similar to me. We were all just kind of different. I have a friend of mine that refers to us as a bunch of freaks, and we kind of were. And that's okay, and that was my group. And we were so different, you know, and we dressed so different, and we really wanted to stand out. I mean, I think subconsciously, you know, and maybe even consciously, we wanted to make a statement. I do not look like you. I do not think like you. I am not like you. Do not align myself with you. We are nothing alike. Don't put me in that group, you know? And I think that that was so important to me in my high school years because I wanted to be so completely different. And what's funny now that I've talked to several people, because I become friends with a lot of the people that were popular in high school. I become friends with them today, you know? And what's interesting is they thought the same way, you know? Like they were thinking the same way even though they were in the popular group. And they've also told me that life wasn't that much easier on that side either, you know, and I thought it was. I thought it was so much easier on the other side, but it just wasn't. You know, your teenage years are tough. Well, then I, you know, got out of high school and then I just was kind of lost and I was trying to find myself, and I think for a long time I identified myself by the people around me, you know. I heard somebody say to me last night, or somebody said to me last night, that your personality is defined by your five closest friends. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that statement. My five closest friends are so completely different from one to the next that I think if you pick bits and pieces of them, maybe, but I think we all complement each other, you know. I don't know. And then as I got older, you know, it was like there were times in my life that I really wanted to fit in. I know that when I was basically, you know, like I was gonna say corporate America, but when I was working, you know, in an organization, like it was easier to fit in. Like I wanted to, you know, I wanted to dress the part and look business casual and have people say, oh, you look really nice today. Thank you. You know, my little polo shirt and khakis, and I wanted to fit the part. And I didn't really care that I was seen as normal. I really didn't, because it worked for me in that situation, you know. But there was a part of me that really felt like I had sold out. I remember my mom was somebody that loved to play her music loud in her car when she would drive, and I do too today, you know. And when she would drive down our street, which was very, you know, quiet suburban street, she'd say, and I didn't get this until I was older, she would say, I gotta turn the music down because of our, you know, neighbors, they don't like that. And she felt very constrained, right? She felt like she was, you know, this normalcy was boxing her in. And I get that today, you know, but I listen, my neighbors are 70 to 85 years old, and they know I play my music loud, and they don't care, you know? I mean, they've never once complained about it, so I don't know. I think that being different, being not normal, being weird, which I love the word weird. It is one of my favorite words. I encompass that today. I try to apply it to my life, and every day it's like, what is my soul speaking today? You know, do I want to wear this necklace? Do I want to use a humongous lip balm? You know, what music do I want to listen to? Do I want to sing at the top of my lungs? It's really about, as long as what you're doing is making you happy in your heart and it's not hurting anybody else, staying weird, staying different. But really, I think, truly listening to the music of your own heart. I mean, honestly, listening to what your heart is telling you to do. You know, and I think for some of us, like, we think, like, okay, my definition of, if I thought of somebody that was really, like, different, okay, or individual or weird today, you know, maybe there's somebody that's putting, like, an art gallery collection together, you know, and they have 3 different colors of hair and whatever. But to somebody else, that is their normal, you know what I mean? And my normal might just be, you know, I don't know, wearing a hat that says icon on it, where other people might be like, that's kind of strange, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't really matter, but it's really about what makes you happiest in your heart, and not denying that. that and staying true to that. And I think so many of us feel like we can't do that. You know, like, so I had this friend of mine back in the day, and she dressed very conservatively. She always wore like white button-down collared shirts, very J. Crew. White button-down collared shirts and like khaki pants, always. But she always wore green Doc Marten boots that came up real high. And I loved it. You know, I loved that she wore these boots because it was like something, it was just her soul speaking. Everything about her haircut, her glasses, her shirt, you know, everything about her was very, very normal. But the green boots spoke of her soul. And I love when I see that. You know, it's like you go somewhere and you see this guy and he's really dressed up in a nice suit, but then his socks are completely out there. Like, I live for that, you know? That little bit of, hey, my soul is speaking through whatever I'm doing today. You know, I went to this pageant last week and I judged it all week long, and it's a phenomenal experience for me because it got me out of myself. But you know, I had to wear a suit most days, and the last night I had to wear like a formal suit. Well, I don't wear socks, okay? Every day, you can't see this, but every day I wear my blue Birkenstock plastic. I have like 5 pairs of Birkenstocks and I just rotate them. So the last day I had to wear dress shoes. Well, whenever we go to a wedding or whatever, I don't wear socks. I don't like them. I mean, even in the winter, I don't wear socks. And so I went to the pageant, I didn't have socks on, and this one girl was like, this one woman that I was judging with, she was like, I love that you don't wear socks. And I was like, I don't ever wear socks. And she was like, but yet you stay true to yourself. And you know, that's what it's really all about. You know what I mean? Like, what makes you happy? Who are you? Play your music as loud as you want to play it. Eat the foods that make you happiest, you know? Save your no's. Don't say no to everything. You know, go along with things, but be yourself. I think that people are genuinely attracted to somebody that is authentic and being themselves. And I think that's the real magic in life. So anyway, thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda, for sending that to me. And I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.